The project shown in this video can be found in the textbook Technical Drawing 101 with AutoCAD, available from SDC Publications.
The Spline Command. The Spline Command creates a smooth curve that passes through specified points. I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can invoke the Spline Command. The first is using your ribbon here, and if you are on your Home tab, the very first panel is your Draw panel, and if I pick on this drop down here, that will give me some expanded options. Hovering over this very first icon, you see that it's a spline fit. It's a curvy icon. Picking on this curvy icon here will invoke the Spline Command. Another way that I can invoke the Spline Command is if I have my toolbars turned on. With my toolbars here, I have my Draw toolbar, and if I work my way about halfway down the screen, I see the same curvy icon that I saw in my Draw expansion. Picking on this curvy icon will invoke the Spline Command. A third way that I can invoke the Spline Command is if I have my menu bar turned on. With my menu bar turned on, I have the option of picking on my Draw pull down, and again about halfway down the screen here I have the spline. Hovering over the spline, I see that I have 2 options. I can either pick fit points or control vertices. Fit points is the default for AutoCAD, so picking on this option right here will invoke the Spline Command. A fourth way that I can invoke the Spline Command is by using my keyboard aliases. The keyboard alias for Spline Command is SPL, and so typing SPL enter will invoke the Spline Command. And notice that the first thing that it asks me for is to specify my first point. So I'm going to give you 2 examples of using the Spline Command. The first example, I'm going to put in some coordinates for my points for the spline to pass through, and the second example, I'm just going to pick some random points. But it asked me to specify my first point, so I'm going to enter in an absolute coordinate of 2, 2, enter. And I have dynamic input turned on here on my status bar, so any coordinate that I enter at this point is going to be relative to the previous coordinate that I entered. So my second point, I'm going to enter 2, 3, enter. And again, that 2, 3 is relative to this point right here because of my dynamic input that's turned on. So now I want to bring that spline down just a little bit. So I'm going to enter as my third point 2, -3, enter. And then I'm going to bring it back up by entering a fourth point of 2, 3, enter. Now, just like the line command and a lot of the other commands, it's going to stay in this command until I exit out. And notice that it's rubber banding. It's following my cursor here, ready to enter points. I can continue entering points if I need to, but at this point I'm going to exit out of the command, so I'm just going to hit the enter key, and that will finish the command. If you are using a previous version of AutoCAD, version 2011 or older, you actually enter hit your enter key a few times before it'll exit out of the command. I believe you have to enter it 3 times and then it'll finally exit. But that is for earlier versions. More recent versions, post 2011, you'll be able to just hit enter once and it exits out of the command. Now, I mentioned that I was going to show you 2 different examples. In this first example, I started at a specified point of 2, 2, and then I entered in several coordinates in order for the spline to pass through those coordinates. I don't have to specify coordinates in that way. Another way that I can do it is if I just pick points on my screen. So I'm going to invoke my Spline Command using the toolbar here. And again, it's asking me to specify my first point. I'm just going to pick a point on my screen. This one here will do just fine. And now when it asks me to enter my next point, I'm just going to pick a point on my screen here, for example, and then here, and then here, and here. And once I'm done picking my points, I just hit enter, and my spline is drawn. That is the Spline Command.